Alright YouTube, so we got a pretty interesting discussion today for FF7 Remake. Now we know within the marketing for this game, we've heard that the game is Midgar only, but they've never actually outright said that, hey, this game takes place entirely inside the events of Midgar. The only thing we have that's kind of somewhat definitive is Katase saying that they kind of got up to the point of the Midgar escape, realized it was taking 2 Blu-ray discs to do that, and so we're kind of assuming that's when the game will end. But again, it's never been definitively said when the game is going to end, which, why would they tell us that anyway? Obviously, why would you want to give away your game's ending? But we are to assume that it's going to end somewhere around the escape from Midgar, but that doesn't mean that the game's over, right? Like, just because we escape Midgar doesn't mean it rolls credits, we're done playing the game. There could be an after story where we get to actually explore a little bit outside of Midgar. And that's kind of the point of today's discussion video. Shout out really quickly to Azores100 over on Reddit, I think is how you say that, for kind of getting this discussion going, but also inspiring me to want to make this video. So again, when it comes to the marketing of this game, they've pretty much only said that the game is covering the Midgar story, but they've again never said that the game is taking place entirely inside the city of Midgar, within the walls of Midgar, just that it's going to cover the events of Midgar, what happens in Midgar. And Midgar is kind of a blanket term. And when you actually look at the area of Midgar, this covers Midgar, the Midgar Wasteland, and Calm, and another location that's specific to like Advent Children or whatever, so it's not important. You also have the giant snake that you fight in front of the Mithril Mines, which is called the Midgar Zalem or Zalam. I still don't know how to say it after like 20-something years. So you could argue that maybe even the Midgar area extends to the Mithril Mines. So them saying that the game is Midgar only could actually mean a lot of things. It just kind of is open to interpretation right now. The exact quote from Katase says, "What we first emphasized was to depict Midgar, which symbolized the world setting of the original Final Fantasy VII the most in a charming way. We newly redesigned the interior structure of Midgar and added new episodes as well as depictions of the daily lives of citizens who live there. Ultimately, just by depicting the story until the original works escape from Midgar, we already reached a huge capacity with a pack of 2 Blu-ray discs, which should have enough density and volume for the world setting and storyline." I'm still pretty curious whether or not that is 2 playable Blu-ray discs, or if it's like an install disc and a playable disc, because it kind of sounds like it would be 2 playable discs, which would be kind of in line with what the original game did. So what Katase says is, while they were expanding the story to fit for a modern game, by the time they got to the events of the escape from Midgar, they were already at 2 Blu-ray discs of content, so the game could very well end there. I'm not saying that the game won't end with the escape of Midgar, but I'm saying, what we're talking about today anyway, is that maybe there's going to be something to do outside of Midgar after the events. Like maybe the game ends with the escape from Midgar, roll credits, after story, because any sort of modern game has some sort of after story where you can still explore the world and finish up quests and things like that. Well, any sort of like good modern game lets you like finish up quests and things after you did the main story. So let's say this is going to happen, this is possible. What exactly would this entail? Like for starters, obviously I think we could go to Calm if this was possible. Maybe get the Calm flashback, get to see Nibelheim kind of set up for the sequel, us chasing down Sephiroth, get to see Sephiroth destroy Nibelheim. And even beyond that, maybe we could go to the Chocobo Ranch and up to the Mithril Mines. Being able to actually explore and go through the Mithril Mines might be asking a little too much, but we could at least possibly get there and fight the Midgar Zalem, and he could be like the super boss of this first game. When it comes to the original game, if you're not prepared for this fight, as in you haven't over-leveled or you haven't set up your equipment and materia correctly, you're absolutely going to get obliterated by the Midgar Zalem, which is why you're supposed to avoid it, get a Chocobo, and just run across the marshland, avoid him completely, and just go through the Mithril Mine. So you could kind of look at him as like a mini super boss for the early game of FF7, which is why I think it'd be kind of cool if we had an after story for FF7 Remake, where you actually could go and fight the Midgar Zalem. He's like super strong, like level 99 or something. So again, this is just a discussion video, pure speculation, but it's something that I do hope is going to happen. I imagine there is going to be some sort of after story, whether or not it's us getting outside of Midgar or not. I imagine they're going to let us like finish up exploring Midgar. The thing is, if we can get outside of Midgar, but also come back into Midgar to complete quests and finish exploring, that will be a pretty big change from the original game, because we can't actually come back into Midgar until a little bit later in the game, where we get the Sector 5 key, etc., etc. So anyways, it's a discussion video, so I pass off to you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to have some sort of after story for this game? Do you think the after story is going to allow us to get outside of Midgar, maybe at least get to Calm, possibly past Calm? Or do you think the entire game is inside of Midgar and we don't ever get outside of it until the sequels? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to update with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on all my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @the-david. And my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like